Innovating Education Learning World in association with WISE, an initiative of Qatar Foundation.
UNESCO says around 1.6 million extra primary school teachers will be needed if universal primary education is to be achieved by 2015. But where are all these extra teachers going to come from? In Chile, for example, teaching is often seen as a low-status job, and many people wouldn't consider doing it. But good quality teaching is essential in order to improve educational outcomes. So one project, a WISE 2013 award finalist, aims to raise the profile and standing of the profession and provide top-class training. Let's see how.
Poorly paid and unrewarding. This negative image means few Chileans take up teaching as a career. The foundation Choosing to Teach aims to radically change that perception by attracting the top 30% of every generation of students to the profession. To this end, it's promoting scholarship schemes such as Teacher Vocation. That's a year-long free training program for 250 young professionals who, when they've completed the course, go and teach in a deprived area for the following 12 months.
Without this grant, I would never have thought of teaching. The idea wouldn't have come into my mind. I was finishing my creative literature degree when they offered me the chance to enter this program. I thought, become a teacher? I'd be scared to death. But they're giving me the chance. It's free. So why not?
Es gratis. ¿Por qué no hacerlo? Y ahí me atreví.
Gabriella's reservations reflect a generally negative view of teaching throughout the country.
There's a mixed view of teachers. On the one hand, their job's considered the most important in the country, but at the same time, in reality, teachers face a lot of status problems. They have low social status and uncompetitive wages compared to other professionals.
The Choosing to Teach Foundation has taken its fight against this image onto the streets and onto the airwaves. It even has its own weekly radio programme. Improving the selection process at universities is another battleground. Officials say in 2011, 3 out of 4 student teachers hadn't passed the university entrance exams.
We would like to be able to choose better our future teachers, like more developed countries do. In Finland, for instance, they select the best of 10. 10 apply, 1 is selected. We'd like to implement something similar in Chile. We still have a lot to do in that direction.
The foundation has set up a call centre to recruit talented students and offer guidance to those interested. Some 6,500 young people called in 2012. Since 2010, 8,000 students have taken the Ministry of Education's fully funded 5-year degree course. Vanessa is one of 70 students working at the call centre.
More than teacher training, Choosing to Teach gives us social skills and teaches us responsibility. To take responsibility for our jobs, teaches us how to become good teachers and how to ensure the students are able to learn the right way.
At least 260 schools are hosting the Foundation's workshops to make young people think differently about teaching.
In Sierra Leone, many people left during the civil war and not all of them have returned, leaving the country with a shortage of qualified workers. And teaching is no exception. This next report looks at finding the way forward when it comes to recruiting and training a new generation of teachers.
In post-conflict Sierra Leone, where nearly half the population are under 18, access to quality education presents a huge challenge. Not only can many families not afford schooling costs, but, as in much of sub-Saharan Africa, there's a shortage of teachers.
Sierra Leone faces many challenges in education, because even though education is free, most parents are so poor that they cannot afford running costs. The other challenge that the education faces in Sierra Leone is that it lacks qualified teachers. because during the war, a lot of teachers had to leave the country because of the difficult situation and they never came back.
Very often, teachers in Sierra Leone have not even completed their secondary education. In primary schools, around 40% of teaching staff are untrained and face massively overcrowded classrooms. UNICEF is working with the government to improve the quality of education through new curricula and better teacher training. The focus is on so-called child-friendly schools, and already more than 10,000 teachers have been trained. John Falla is among them.
Well, now I think, I've gained a relief in my teaching. There's a lot of improvement when I'm teaching. I say now there is no more cane around me. The children are very friendly with me. I pass on the message with them very easily, so the children are always ready to learn.
What is the name?
According to UNESCO, the literacy rate in the country in 2011 was about 40%. Traditional teaching methods didn't help. Children had to memorize information from the blackboard and were punished for failing. The Child Friendly Schools initiative promotes literacy by introducing interactive and fun ways of teaching.
They learn more because they exchange ideas in their groups. They go to the board to do activities, many activities for themselves. The teacher just demonstrate. They do more of the work.
As a result of better teaching, attendance rates have increased. Better teachers, happier students. But there's still a long way to go. The country is unlikely to meet any of the UN's Millennium Development Goals on education.
Some people say good teachers are like candles. They burn themselves out to light the way for their pupils. Well, this might sound a bit far-fetched, but in this next report we meet two exceptional teachers who think education is so important that they travel incredible distances by tuk-tuk in order to raise awareness and get funding for local educational projects.
In downtown Buenos Aires, a tiny vehicle on a mighty mission slots into the traffic. This is where this Indian tuk-tuk ends its epic journey, having travelled 42,000 kilometres since August 2012. On board, two British teachers dedicated to raising awareness of the UN's goal to achieve universal primary education by 2015, as 57 million children are still out of school.
We've got a broad Millennium Development Goal that is adopted as policy, which means that someone in Africa is being told to do the same thing as someone in Latin America or Asia when their problem might be completely different. And I guess what needs to happen next is that there needs to be more focus on not just regions and countries but communities.
When we were in Kenya, we visited a local village called Mtwapa, and there they have public schools nearby. But they're too far for young children to go to. It's too far to walk. The children who do go there to school have 150, 200, 250 children in a class. And what are they expected to learn there? That can't be called universal primary education. And for us, that's a real challenge that needs to be given some considerable thought.
The intrepid educators have travelled across 39 countries on 4 continents to promote universal and quality education. Although much has been achieved since 2000, Nick and Rich say there's a lot more to do to reach the 2015 target.
We've met and spoken to teachers throughout Europe, Africa, Asia and South America. And what's funny really is that the problems teachers face are the same everywhere. Everyone complains about a lack of support, a lack of resources, a lack of training, a lack of reimbursement, adequate salary. We've seen all sorts of programs and really inspirational people who are teachers, and what makes them teachers is their passion for passing on something that means a great deal to them to improve the lives of others.
Nick and Rich have been looking for inspiring educational projects run by local people in places where there's poor access to school. Supporting these projects is the work of their charity, the Tuk-Tuk Educational Trust.
Well, what do you think? Have you ever met any teachers who are as dedicated as Nick and Rich? What do you think makes a good teacher? Do share your experiences with us on our social media pages. We look forward to hearing from you. Goodbye for now.
Learning World in association with WISE, an initiative of Qatar Foundation.